what's happening. We are Venom.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to News to Astonish, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more. Here to talk to you about the Spider-Man sequel, and it will not feature the co-op that a lot of us have been wanting. Personally, me, I couldn't really care less if we had it or not. I did list it as one of the features that the game could use, but that's due to the fact that a lot of people were requesting it, and we're hoping to see, since Spider-Man and Miles Morales is going to be in Marvel Spider-Man 2. So before I get into that, I want you guys to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe if I've earned your subscription, that is. It totally helps the channel. It totally helps the algorithm. Please, guys, we're already approaching at least 6,000 subscribers at the time of me making this video. Hopefully I'd probably reach it by then. Anyways, let's talk about Spider-Man 2 and why it will not have co-op. Now, this is being confirmed from Insomniac Games himself, and it's actually kind of not of a bummer, honestly. I feel personally that we don't really need co-op. Marvel Spider-Man really works on its own as a single player story. It's a well-grounded story, at least, and that's the way it should be. Hopefully there will be some other features that are similar to co-op that are implemented in this game, which I will get into later on after reading this article from Collider. And during the PlayStation Showcase, Insomniac finally revealed that they were making a sequel to Marvel Spider-Man by releasing the first trailer for it. Now, despite the trailer featuring both Peter Parker and Miles Morales fighting together, however, the studio has confirmed that the game will not feature any co-op and will be a solo adventure. So shortly after the showcase, Games head of franchise strategy and studio relations, Ryan Schneider, made a post on the PlayStation blog, going more into detail about the game. So during the post, he stated, "We're so thrilled to continue the journey of both Peter Parker and Miles Morales in their most epic single-player adventure yet, confirming that this will be a single-player experience like the first game was. This could come as a disappointment to some fans, and as a co-op feature has been desired since the release of PlayStation 4 Spider-Man. So despite the game being a solo adventure, it sounds like Insomniac wants to continue the story of both Peter and Miles for the sequel." Schneider talked about continuing their journeys in this statement. "So while pushing the capabilities of the console will be very exciting, we're equally pumped to craft all new stories for Peter and Miles in the sequel. Just as our previous Spider-Man games, we not only want to tell a great superhero story, but also deliver a compelling human story, one full of heart and humor that dives deep into the people behind the masks." So we will have to wait until we get more information about the game before we can know how they can plan to accomplish this. The reveal trailer doesn't show us much. It does show us both Peter and Miles teaming up to fight criminals, with a reveal of the symbiote Venom, voiced by Tony Todd, at the end. That's the guy that you saw at the very beginning of this trailer talking as Tony Todd, if you haven't figured that out already, obviously. One possibility could be splitting the game up, with part of it focusing on Peter, while the other part focuses on Miles' journey throughout the game. There could also be the possibility of allowing us to switch between the two characters, letting us play whichever one we prefer, whoever would better suit a certain situation. So Marvel Spider-Man 2 will see the return of both Yuri Lowenthal and Najee Jeter as Peter Parker and Miles Morales respectively. While there is not a set release date for the game, it is slated to be launched sometime in 2023 and will be a PlayStation 5 exclusive. So a few things that I want to talk about real quick before I end this video, and I know it's kind of like a bit of a short one, it's not a long one, but I want to kind of keep it, quick and simple for you guys. So I want to give my ideas about why this game is not a co-op and why I prefer it not to be a co-op. I personally am a sucker for single player based games. I really like games that are single player because it really allows me to focus on the character that I'm playing as. And honestly, I think co-op would be more of a distraction. Now, I can see and understand why people would wish to see a co-op game in a Spider-Man game now that there's more than one Spider-Man. But honestly, it would kind of take away from Insomniac's goal of making Spider-Man games, and that is to keep Spider-Man as well-grounded as possible and make it focused about the character and the narrative, not so much about going online with other players and distracting from the story. It kind of takes you away from it. Honestly, I think it would break the conventions of what Insomniac Games is trying to achieve here, and that is the single-player based kind of story. It allows us to be focused and allows us to get involved and into the story a lot more. And honestly, it's probably the better method. Now, it may be disappointing to most people out there, or at least some of you out there, but in the end, it'll be worth it once you've played the final product, because you'll just forget about co-op and you'll be like, what is co-op? Anyways, that's pretty much my take on it. I'm glad that Insomniac Games is moving forward with a single player based game and about playing as other characters in the games. Like the first Marvel Spider-Man games, you got to play around as MJ and of course Miles if the story was required to play as those characters. So I'm thinking, if any of you guys who are watching this video has ever played any of the Arkham games like Arkham City, for example, or Arkham Knight or anything like that, if you all recall, in a certain segment, I think it was the Riddler mission where you had to rescue Catwoman. When you were fighting some of the Riddler bots, you can actually switch between characters while achieving combos and takedowns, for example. You don't necessarily play Catwoman for a long extended period of time, but you get to fight as her as you do combos between you and Batman. So I think we'll be seeing something like that along the lines here in this game, where maybe you and Miles meet up in the street somewhere to fight a bunch of criminals, and in that fight, you get to interchange between characters while achieving combos. I'm just saying, that's my theory. I think Insomniac Games may draw some inspiration from those games, but that's pretty much it. If I see that, I'd totally be happy with that, and I think it'll suffice, honestly, in the end. Anyways, that's pretty much my 2 cents. Are you disappointed at the fact that we're not going to be getting co-op, or do you not care that we're not getting co-op in Marvel Spider-Man 2? Personally, I really don't care. I could care less, honestly. I'm a sucker for single-player games, and I'm happy the way Insomniac Games is treating this franchise. I'm really excited for Marvel Spider-Man 2, if you haven't figured that out already, obviously, and I cannot wait till we get more information about this game so I can keep talking about it. Sorry guys, I am milking it, but hey, you know what? It's a YouTube channel where I talk about Spider-Man stuff and other comic book related stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoy my videos. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on bell notifications so you don't miss anything, so you can stay up to date with the latest Spider-Man related topics and other Marvel related content. And I will see you all in the next comic panel.
Will one of you finally give me what I desire? Yes, we will.
PlayStation